Hello everyone and welcome to this episode of Steve's Allotment. As you can tell, we're in the shed and we're not at the allotment today. I've not been down to the plot for a few weeks just because the weather has been so atrocious. There's been the odd day of sun, but naturally I've been working on those days. Other reasons I've not been down here, I've been ill for the last week or so, which has meant that I've not been able to, when I've had days off, come down to the plot. And the other reason is I got married last weekend. So obviously that has taken priority over some of the other bits. So the last bits of planning and things and getting stuff ready, and then obviously the actual day. It was a lovely chili themed wedding. So we had chili plants as our centerpieces. It looked absolutely awesome. And there was lots of chili paraphernalia and stuff around as well. So today I've come out to the shed just because the allotment is still absolutely soaked from all the rain. It's a reasonable day today, still quite cold, but the ground is very wet and it does look like it could rain at any moment. So today I've been in the shed, I've been cleaning up. So I've done what most people do at this time of year, been hitting the garden centres, Wilkinsons, anywhere that has reduced all their garden stuff, and I've been buying lots of stuff and chucking it in here. So I've tidied stuff away, given the floor a bit of a hoover, wiped down the sides and cleaned the floor, etc. My plan for today is to get rid of the tomato plants that are in the greenhouse so I can put my Christmas potatoes out there, and I'm going to try and put those in the automatic watering pots just to give them the best chance at doing well this year. And what I can do is I've got a greenhouse heater that I can put out there if it does get a bit chilly as well, whereas if I leave them down the plot they're probably not going to do very well at this time of year. So I should have planted them last month but I haven't. Anyway, these are the ones that we've got this year. We've got both from Taylor's. We've got Maris Pear potatoes, and we've also got Pent and Javelin. I think I have grown both of these before, and they are essentially just first earlies that have been kept to this point in the year. My plan next year is to try and keep my own ready to plant rather than having to go and buy expensive Christmas potatoes. Right, I am going to finish this cup of tea and I'll be getting on. So I've just been outside clearing that little greenhouse to get it ready for the potatoes. And I've had a look at the thermometer that was in there, and I can't believe how warm it had got inside that greenhouse. So this has been in there a little while, with the door open in there to help keep it cool. It got up to 45.3 degrees, which is just ridiculous. And that's with the auto vent opening and the door open. But as you can see, it has now started getting quite cold. So we're down to 1.1 degrees. So what I want to do as well is, while I'm clearing this out, is get my chili plant that's in there, the chocolate habanero that's been in there, that I've had for probably, this is its third year, I think it is. I want to get that trimmed down and ready to overwinter as well. So here we go, here's the greenhouse. You can see I've got a bit of tidying up to do around here as well. So I've taken everything off of the shelves and I've got rid of that shelf because that was only in there for when I was starting seeds off anyway. I've given the floor a good clean. I've not got rid of all the weeds, just because there was quite a few growing up here that are quite deep. And I've tried to level the floor out a bit as well. There's the odd bit of tomato that is in the ground, but hopefully that should just rot down. What you can see, there's a lot of moss and stuff on the inside of the glass. So what I'm going to do, because there's potatoes in here, I'm going to give this a good disinfectant all across all the panes and everywhere, just because there's the risk of, if there was any blight in those tomato plants, it passing on to the potatoes when I put them in here. Right, so now the greenhouse is cleared. I've drained the water system that's in there so I can fill it with fresh water. I think it's time to get on with planting those potatoes. So to go with the watering system, we get these nice big black pots, which I think are going to be an ideal size for the potatoes. And then what we put inside is we've got this capillary matting type stuff, but one side it's got a root proof membrane so that the roots can't grow through that. So we're going to pop that in to start with. I put in a decent amount of compost. I'm using clover as usual because I find this is really good quality, and as well as that, it's quite cheap as well. So I get it from a farm shop and I get 4 bags for £12, which is better than I can get most of the garden centre compost from. Right, so I'm going to start with the Pentland Javelin. I'm going to do 2 pots of Pentland Javelin, 2 pots of Maris Pear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 in the bottom of this one. I'm going to cover with some compost over the top of those. I'm then going to put in opposite sides 2 more. There's a random little shoot of root that's come off, so I'm just going to chuck that in because that might do something, it might not. And then I'm just going to cover that over. So what you can do with potatoes is root them up. I'm not going to do that because I think the soil is going to help to keep them warmer than if I just leave them open for the elements. And with it being a bit later in the year, what I don't want to do is let them all die in a frost. So there we go, I'm just going to get this covered over, just like that. And I'm going to leave a little bit of room at the top so that I can earth them up a little bit when they get to this height. Okay, so that's one of them done. I'm going to go and get the other 3 pots done now, and I'll catch up with you when I've done that. So I thought I'd quickly come into the greenhouse and show you the bases that the potato pots are going to be going onto. So this is them here. They're a self-watering system, so as you can see in these parts here are little valves that when the water lifts the float up, it cuts the water supply off, so they're never going to drown. But then as soon as it gets below a certain level, we'll start filling up again. This just means that the potatoes are going to have a constant supply of water throughout, and they're not going to drown. Well, they're not going to drown, but equally they're not going to dry out when I inevitably forget to water them. So in here I've got 4 of these, all supplied by 1 pipe that goes out the greenhouse there, and you might just be able to see we've got a water butt behind. That water butt's also fed from the guttering on this greenhouse, which will run down into the water butt, but I've also just topped it up with fresh water. So I've emptied it, cleared it out of all the old water and filled it up with new fresh water. And the advantage of this is I can put nutrient feeds into that water, then it'll get diluted and fed across these as the days go on. So I'm going to go and get my potato pots and pop them in here now. And then here we go, this is the pots in place. I've labelled all of them up, so we've got the 2 Pentland Javelins here, and we've got the 2 Maris Pear over here. And the last bit added onto these is just a little cover over the valve to keep any debris out. So what I'm going to do as well, I'm going to put a thermometer in here so we know what the temperature is. And as we approach 0, I'll get the greenhouse heater in here as well, just to stop us going below freezing and freezing the potatoes. And there we go, I've put the thermometer in here, just give it a little reset. There we go, so we're at 14.5 at the moment during the day. I'm going to shut the door in here and we'll keep an eye on it and see how low we go. So that's going to be it from me today. Thank you for watching. I'll keep you up to date with those potatoes, see how we're doing. Although I appreciate it's a bit late in the year, so we might not get anything out of them. I am hopefully going to run some little competitions as my subscriber count goes up. So my next milestone is going to be 50 subscribers. So as soon as we hit that, I am going to start a little competition for one of those thermometers, the maximum minimum thermometers, and then see where we go from there. The more subscribers I get, I'll probably run some more competitions at other milestones. So please do subscribe. Feel free to follow me on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, and send me any messages with any ideas or thoughts that you have. Anyway, that's enough from me. So take care and happy allotmenting.